Chapter 38. Aaron Simpkins was stepping over bodies. They were everywhere, lying on the floor in the ER waiting room, lining the hallways on gurneys, leaning up against vending machines. Injured people were simply everywhere, occupying every hospital space. Dr. Simpkins! Thank God you're here. We don't have enough doctors to handle the incoming victims. It's a madhouse in here, yelled Kimberly Brown, a third-year resident, when Aaron rushed into the emergency room. The hospital has set up a triage area in the main lobby of the Apple building. The patient's injuries are being evaluated there, and some have been sent directly to the basement OR, continued the resident. Where's Dr. Coleman? The African-American surgeon asked, stripping off a leather winter jacket and gloves. She tucked them behind the centralized desk in a bottom drawer. She temporarily sat down her little black bag, a doctor's utility kit, which was given out in medical school. It contained everything a physician would need in the case of an emergency. Aaron had always kept it freshly supplied and stored in the trunk of her car on a just-in-case basis. She wanted to be prepared if suddenly she came across an accident or stumbled upon an injured person. Aaron didn't hesitate to snatch up a handful of latex gloves, followed by a stack of alcohol pads, which she stuffed into the pocket of her lab coat. She grabbed a nearby small pump bottle of hand sanitizer and ran from the ER, leaving behind the resident to her duties. Dr. Simpkins weaved through the injured, already receiving care. She neared the triage area, that makeshift station set up to treat patients quickly by assessing their wounds and prioritizing their level of care. The critically injured were either sent directly to the OR or were sent to a critical care unit. Those not in such a serious state were treated, bandaged up, and sent home with instructions. Dr. Aaron Simpkins dropped to her knees next to a young black male sitting in a lobby chair. He was holding his leg with both hands and squeezing it tightly in an attempt to stop the bleeding. A look of fear was on his face as he struggled with the blood flow. Aaron instinctively reached inside of her black bag and pulled out a tourniquet and put on gloves. Hey, I'm Dr. Aaron Simpkins. Keep applying pressure until I get that tourniquet securely around your upper leg. You're going to be good. This is going to be okay. Don't stop. I'm afraid to, laughed the man in a shaky voice. I'm bleeding like somebody shot me in the Iraqi war. What happened? How did you get this? How did you get here? I drove. I was under the train tracks, a few blocks back, waiting at a traffic light when I heard this crazy sound. I looked up and all I could see was the L jumping the rail. I couldn't believe my eyes. I almost pissed and crapped in my pants, he grunted as the doctor instructed him to remove his hand. I was that scared. And this injury? How did you get it? Once I saw what was happening, I tried to turn off the street, heading another direction. Only I wasn't quick enough. When the train hit the ground, stuff started flying everywhere. Something shattered my front windshield, and then I got this, he said, pointing at his leg. I don't know if I'm hurt anywhere else. My adrenaline is still pumping strong. Don't you worry. I'm going to check you out completely. See if you have other injuries. Dr. Simpkins began to inspect his leg wound with gloved hands. She noticed shard glass and a lot of metal shrapnel, bits of pieces of flying debris that lodged themselves in the victim's leg. You must be in a great deal of pain, she stated. I am. I'm trying not to holler like a big baby, but yeah, it hurts. What's your name? She asked, removing the soiled gloves and reaching for a writing pen. Oliver Mason, he said with a grimace. The surgeon scribbled it onto a patient ID band with a generic medical record number. Date of birth? May 15, 1998. Any allergies to penicillin or other antibiotics, drugs? None that I know of. Last tetanus shot? Some months back. I cut my finger on a deli slicer at the market, but it's all healed now. Good, she said, securing the hospital band around his right wrist. I am going to get you something for the pain and then get you into an OR, she said while reaching for her cell phone and dialing. This is Dr. Simpkins. I need a portable imaging machine and a tech in the Apple building. Stat! Aaron disconnected the call and looked at Oliver. I want some clear pictures of that leg. See what's going on inside, and then I'll clean out the wound, okay? It's a deal, doctor. I was on my way to work, but this is not going to happen, he stated. It's just as well. I work at a supermarket on the other side of the city. Don't much like the commute or the job, but it pays the bills. I better give them a call. I think so. You won't be returning to work right away, said the doctor as she assisted the young black man into an emergency cubicle and waited for the x-ray tech. Once Aaron Simpkins finished with that patient, she quickly replaced him with another victim of the derailed train catastrophe. The cardiothoracic surgeon didn't even need to move far in order to do so. The rescue trucks just kept bringing in more and more trauma victims.